Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you. Today, I rise during National Police Week to honor the men and women of the law enforcement community and to condemn the ongoing attacks of those members of our law enforcement community. In particular to Wisconsin's law enforcement community, I say thank you. The past year has been particularly tough on our law enforcement officers. Just outside the state capital of Wisconsin in Madison is the Wisconsin Law Enforcement Memorial. Last year, this memorial was vandalized. A criminal took a sledgehammer to the granite, which is etched with the names of the men and women who died in the line of duty protecting our communities. Last week, 6 more heroes had their names added to the Law Enforcement Memorial. But the ceremony was interrupted by anti-police protesters. During the prayer, protesters yelled that the deaths of these officers, whose names were being etched into the memorial, that their deaths were not a sacrifice. Anti-police protesters held up signs with hateful words and disrupted a solemn ceremony with vile chants. It was disgusting to see the absolute lack of respect and the display of hatred and complete ignorance. Contrary to the anti-police protesters at the ceremony, these officers are heroes. They died protecting us. They died protecting our communities. Let me tell you about just one of them. Officer John Hetland was one of the names added to the Wisconsin Memorial this year. He was a 24-year veteran of the Racine Police Department. Officer Hetland was a hero. He made a commitment to serve and protect our communities, whether on or off duty. When a local business was being robbed at gunpoint, Officer Hetland attempted to stop the suspect. Officer Hetland was murdered. He was shot in the chest by this criminal. He died protecting our community. We've seen anti-police rhetoric go too far. After riots broke out in Kenosha, officers from Kenosha and Racine, Walworth, Rock, Waukesha, Milwaukee counties, and across the state of Wisconsin put their lives on the line to defend Kenosha and protect the people in our communities. I'll never forget hearing those same vulgar chants when criminals attacked officers in the streets of Kenosha. As fires were being set throughout the city, I remember watching officers duck as Molotov cocktails were being thrown at them, as water bottles filled with concrete were being thrown at them and hurled in their direction. And even as an officer was struck in the head by a brick and knocked unconscious, the criminals cheered. That is unbelievable. That is heartbreaking. Violence towards our police officers is something our nation cannot tolerate. We should collectively speak out against the attacks on our police and against the calls to defund the police. We should be supporting our men and women in law enforcement. To the members of the law enforcement community, I want you to know this. The people of Wisconsin's 1st Congressional District say thank you. Thank you for keeping us safe. I yield back.